Hey everyone, so in this video, I want to talk about some of the most common credit card mistakes that beginners tend to make when they are just getting started. Now, the reason why this topic is so important is that we are constantly being exposed to credit card offers. You see them on TV, you see them on all over social media, and a lot of us are still getting those letters in the mail with pre-approved offers inside because credit card companies are willing to spend a lot of money to acquire new customers. They do this through advertising, through welcome bonus offers, and through a bunch of other strategies designed to make their credit cards look as appealing as possible. Now, for people who have been using credit cards for a while, they start to understand how all of this works. They build solid financial habits, they stay organized, and they use credit cards in a way that usually is actually beneficial to them. But if you are a beginner and you don't fully understand how these systems work yet, it's very easy to make a few simple mistakes that could end up hurting your credit score or your budget in some pretty nasty ways. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 6 of those mistakes that you're probably going to want to avoid, and if you can avoid these early on, you're going to be putting yourself in a really strong position moving forward. So let's get right into it with mistake number 1. The first mistake is applying for too many credit cards at once, and I actually nearly fell into this trap myself, as I do remember when I first started out, I had applied for 3 credit cards in one day. This is honestly one of the easiest traps to fall into when you're first getting started because there are so many good offers out there. You might see a card with a great welcome bonus offer, another one with solid cash back, another one with travel perks, and it feels like you should just go ahead and apply for all of them. But with credit cards, patience is extremely important because there's one number that will always be tied to you, and that's your credit score. And every time you apply for a new credit card, the issuer is going to perform what is called a hard inquiry. This is basically when they take a look at your credit report as a part of the application process. Now, a single hard inquiry may not seem like a big deal. It's going to stay with you on your credit report for about 2 years, but after a few months, it doesn't really have that much of an impact on your credit score. The issue comes when you start stacking multiple inquiries in a short period of time, because when lenders see that you're applying for a lot of new credit all at once, it can look very risky. It might signal that you're trying to take on too much debt too quickly, and for beginners, this can be even more impactful because you likely have a shorter credit history to begin with. So a few hard inquiries can cause a noticeable drop in your credit score, and that can make it harder to get approved for better credit cards in the future, or even affect things like loans, interest rates. So what I would recommend is keeping it simple. Start with one card, use it responsibly, pay it off on time and in full every single month, and give it some time before applying for another one. Personally, I like to play it safe and space out applications by at least 6 to 12 months when you just start out. Everyone's situation is different, but there's really no need to rush this process. The next 2 mistakes are related to spending, and these are probably the most important ones that you want to get right early on. These are maxing out your credit card and not treating your credit card like cash. When you first get approved for a credit card and you see your credit limit, it can really feel like that's just money that you now have access to, but really that's not really the reality of it. That's not the right way to think about it. A credit card is not free money, it's borrowed money that you have to eventually pay back. The safest and most effective way to use a credit card is to treat it exactly like cash. Only use it for purchases that you already have the money for in your bank account. That way you can always pay off your balance in full without any stress, because if you don't do that, then you start carrying a balance. That's when interest comes into play. And credit card interest is very high, often somewhere anywhere between 15 to 25%. At that point, any rewards you're earning, whether it be cash back or points, are completely outweighed by the interest that you'll end up having to pay. At the same time, you also want to avoid maxing out your credit card. This ties into something called credit card utilization, which is one of the biggest factors that affect your credit score. Credit utilization is simply the percentage of your available credit that you are using. So if you have a $4,000 limit and you are using $3,000, that equates to a credit utilization of 75%, which is a high utilization rate, and it can negatively impact your score. On the other hand, if you keep your usage low, that shows lenders that you are responsible with credit, and it can actually help improve your score. Most financial blogs and websites will recommend trying to keep your utilization under 10 to 30% if possible, but for me personally, I'd recommend a utilization rate no higher than 10%. And this applies not just to individual credit cards, but across all of your credit cards combined. Now, moving on to mistake number 4, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with applying for for cards, a topic that we discussed at the beginning of this video, and that is getting the wrong credit cards. Especially early on, there are a ton of options out there, and it's very easy to get pulled in by a offer that sounds good at first, but just because a credit card sounds good doesn't mean it's the best option for you. Credit card companies are very good at marketing. Their job is to make their product sound as appealing as possible, but what they don't emphasize is what you might be giving up by choosing their cards over another one. This is where the idea of opportunity cost comes into play. Basically, if you choose one option, what are you missing out on by not choosing something else? For example, you might go for a card that offers slightly higher cash back on everyday purchases, but miss out on a large welcome bonus offer from another card. That's the immediate value that you're giving up. This is something that I personally had to mentally deal with in regard to the American Express Platinum card, where I recently received promotional mail from the Platinum card, which offered 175,000 points, but because I was overzealous and applied for the card too early, and this piece of promotional mail came too late, I immediately left 75,000 points on the table, as I did accept a 100,000 point offer in February when I applied for the card. You also want to think about annual fees. As a beginner, I usually recommend starting with no annual fee cards. They're easier to manage, they're easier to get approved for, and there's no pressure to justify a yearly cost. Once you've built up your credit and you fully understand how to use cards effectively, then you can start looking into cards with annual fees if the benefits actually outweigh the cost of your situation. Another thing to keep in mind is flexibility. If you decide to get into travel rewards later on, it's generally better to start with the cards that earn flexible points rather than locking yourself into one airline or hotel program too early. Flexibility gives you more options, and that can be extremely valuable as your spending habits and goals change over time. Now, moving on to mistake number 5, and this is another one that can be a little bit misleading, and that is relying too much on 0% interest rates. At first glance, these offers sound great. You get 0% interest for a certain period amount of time, maybe 12 months or even longer, and it feels like you can carry a balance without any downside, but it's important to understand it's still debt. You're just delaying when you have to pay for it. And for beginners, this can be extremely dangerous because it can encourage overspending. You might justify a larger purchase because you don't have to pay interest on it right away, but you still have to deal with that balance later on. If you miss a payment or don't pay off that balance by the end of the promotional period, you could end up facing very high interest rates, and that could put you in a very tough spot financially. And on top of that, carrying a balance can increase your credit utilization, which is something that we talked about earlier, can hurt your credit score. So for beginners, I would recommend keeping things as simple as possible and avoiding these types of offers. Focus on building the habit of paying off your balance in full every single month. And finally, the last mistake is closing a no annual fee card. This might seem like a small thing, especially if you're not using the credit card anymore, but it can actually have a long-term impact on your credit score. That's because the length of your credit history is another factor that plays into your credit score, and your oldest accounts are especially important. If you close a card, particularly one you've had for a long time, you could eventually lose that history, and that can cause your score to drop. Think of no annual fee credit cards like the foundation of a really tall skyscraper. As an architect and builder, you want the foundation of your building to be as stable as possible. Without a solid foundation of no annual fee cards that you'd never have to theoretically get canceled, your skyscraper could collapse at any point. If the card has no annual fee, there's really no downside to keeping it open. You don't have to use it all of the time. You can just put a small purchase on it here and there and then keep it active. What I like to do is put something like my Netflix subscription, something I know I most likely won't be canceling anytime soon, and set up auto payments, and that way it continues to contribute positively to your credit score over time. At the end of the day, if you can avoid these 6 mistakes, you're already doing better than most people when it comes to using credit cards responsibly. Credit cards can be an incredibly useful financial tool, but only if you can use them the right way. It really comes down to building good habits, staying disciplined, and keeping things simple, especially in the beginning. Let me know down in the comment section if there are any mistakes that you think beginners should watch out for, or if you've had any experiences that others could learn from. Here's a video that YouTube has especially recommended that you watch next. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to the channel and share this video with someone who's just getting started with credit cards. Thank you so much for watching. As always, talk to everybody soon. Peace.